highlights on page 1 and 2 is the area to kind of focus on. So,
I'm sure there's some questions. If
yeah, we're happy to
Great.
hear and answer any questions that you have.
Are there questions?
Well, I have some comments. First of all, I'd like to comment on the present budget.
Current fiscal year?
Yes, that one of the things that this board had asked about last year was increased security
Mhm.
and also safety door locks and things.
Yeah.
So I'd like to report that that has been a benefit, and that particularly at the high school, most of the doors now have the inside security door locks. So that was certainly a positive out of this present budget year.
And you know, Roseanne, all of our elementaries, all the new doors, it's great because you walk in a classroom, you close the door behind you, and you just flip a switch now, and it shows green or red, locked or unlocked, so it's a lot easier too. So the new door hardware is getting even better.
So I'm pleased to see that there's some additional funds in here for this budget for further improvements. Currently, you have a budget freeze in effect for this year's budget.
We do, due to health insurance, current fiscal year health
And
insurance.
when did that budget freeze go into effect?
We put that into effect back in
Is it
January?
November?
January,
January.
yeah.
So that's really obviously handicapping a lot of things.
Yes.
And we have to do what we have to do. But I think that it's something that the public should be aware of, that things go without, that the budget freeze goes in, and if you have things that happen in the rest of the year, you don't get those things.
That's correct. A lot of supplies and different things.
And so I think that that's something that when we talk about budgeting, that we're careful not to cut it too close.
Mhm.
But there's always unanticipated things as well. I'm wondering about the busing situation, and I noticed that with redistricting, you're going to be able to eliminate a couple of buses.
Yes.
Pardon my voice tonight. But I noticed particularly at the high school run, that those buses run almost empty.
Exactly.
Are we still required by state law to provide busing for every single student regardless of whether they...
We are. Yes, we are. We are. And that's what makes it very challenging because we could have, you could even go out and ask a parent or put a survey out. You know, we're trying to find out how many might be using the bus, but situations change in people's lives. So we always have to, as of right now, by law, we have to provide transportation to students. We have to have a bus available
For every single student?
for every single student.
And is this also to account for evacuation purposes in case of emergency, that those buses must be available?
We need them available to transfer. Our evacuation as of right now is down to Southern Connecticut.
right.
Yeah, so-
That is one of the things that I get a lot of comments about from people in the public
Mhm.
who are perhaps driving their students there, and they see all these empty buses, 44, 60 passenger buses pulling in with 6 and 7 kids on them at the high school level.
Mhm.
So apparently there isn't anything we can do to remedy that.
Not as of right now, but and I don't know if legislation will change in that area in the future. But we've been studying it. You know, Kim Davis has done a lot of work with her team members, and we've been able to reduce 2, for next year across the board.
Perhaps this is something that we could work with our state representatives on,
Yeah.
to see if we could get a signed release from parents that they would drive, or the students would drive, that we might be able to lessen that run
Mhm.
and save some additional funds
Yeah.
there.
It would be great because we really could do quite a bit in that area if we knew or we were allowed to say no
Well, they're-
or
Well,
you
they're
have to.
really non-education dollars that we're
Yeah.
spending. And also, we could, I think that's something that maybe our board and your board could work on, see if we could get something, if they would sign a legitimate or legal release.
Good point.
Well, unfortunately, we have to be cost conscious, but it is too bad that we didn't have the funds to be able to enlarge our programs, and that we have to reduce staff, because there are so many programs that students would like to have and courses that students would like to take
Mhm.
that we can't offer. And we're doing a good job,
We are.
but there are also so many things we could do, but we're a small town.
I know.
So thanks for your efforts.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah, student enrollment projections, was that study by Maloney and McBroom updated this year, or is this, how old is that?
They did that last year when we were working through the whole redistricting process. So they had that finalized by, it was mid-year last year.
So, for 18-19, it says 2699, and you said you're at that number now, 2,700
Exactly,
today?
we're sitting around 20, yeah, just under 2,700.
Right, and then you're looking to go up 117 based on this projection for next
Potentially.
year.
Yeah,
And you're still
potentially.
reducing staff.
Well, because redistricting is helping with that, so 6 of those staff members are because of that. So yeah, redistricting has helped us in many different ways.
And how often do you expect to have this updated? Is this gonna be updated yearly?
No,
or-
that costs us money, so
Yeah.
that was a one-time deal to really put some teeth behind, where students should be, slated to go to school at the elementary level. That's what we use that for.
It would be valuable in the out years, not to pay for update the study, but to update the actuals to see
Mhm.
how the trend is going.
Definitely, exactly.
Thank you.
Other questions? I have one. I haven't, I've sat in a few meetings with you and Mariana about the 50 people you anticipate to come on to the health insurance program. I mean, we have a good health insurance program now. It's self-insured and it's unpredictable, but it's a robust program. It's a robust coverage. I'm not sure the state plan is that much better. I don't know. I know it won't be worse. But why 50 more people? Why are all these paras going to be jumping on? Are we giving them more by contract, or is just
Well, I
how is
think
this working out?
one reason is the favorability in plan, because you have a high deductible health plan right now. You're going back to really a PPO plan,
Yeah.
so it's kind of, here's my copay, I don't deal with it anymore after
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
which is a lot more favorable to the general
It's
population.
easier.
It's a lot easier. You're no longer really managing as you have to do with a high deductible health
Yeah.
plan. And I think there was some numbers associated with it too for Paris.
Well, because the parents currently are not on the same plan that
Yeah,
we are on. They're on a different plan that is not the same as ours.
Currently?
Currently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're on a different
Different-
plan that is not the same as the other.
And then now they'll be able to be part of
Because
ours.
it's
Was that
all-
by contract? No, they're not.
No,
Not
but that's what we
unionized,
offered,
Yeah,
what was set up
okay.
years ago. So now we're all in it together.
Because I'm not seeing, I'm not planning, or Anna's not planning, that we'd have that much of a push from the town side. I mean, we're only a third of what you folks are, or even 25% of what you folks are for the plan, but we're not anticipating a large rush of people who haven't taken our plan to take our plan. But that's because of the relationship you have with the paras, which are different than the teachers and the other employees. Okay.
That's
That
where
makes
we
more
think the
sense.
influx is gonna come from more than the certified staff. But we do know I know a number of certified staff that went off of our plan when it was a high deductible, and we've tried to, it's a hard number to quantify too.
Of course.
Trying to find out and hear through the grapevine what people might be doing, but, so we've heard a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Does you pay, if somebody doesn't take insurance right now, do you offer, like the town? does,
Stipend.
A stipend?
Yes.
That's taken into account?
Yeah, we took that into account as well, yeah. It varies pending, paraprofessional versus teacher or administrator, but
Okay.
yeah.
But you don't have there's no commitments or anything to 50, that's just what you're anticipating? based
That's
on-
an anticipated number, and we're kinda, I'm sorry, yeah, our certified teachers don't, no, you're right, the paraprofessionals do.
The paras
And
do
the
get a
administrators,
stipend
the
if they don't take
administrators,
it? The certified
Yeah.
teachers don't?
But we felt that number might even be a little low, potentially, the number that might come back.
When it was done in other districts, the number was significantly.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering, so you're basing it on that? What's happened in other districts when they went back to a state plan? Okay, thanks.
I also wanted to comment on the technology, that last year there was, both the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance approved quite a large amount of money for technology improvements. And I find that was very well used. It increased a lot of usage for the students and also for the staff. But it's definitely an ongoing need, and that we're still, as with many other things, we're working on a platform that's old,
Yes, we are.
and we really need to make sure that we secure that money. This weekend, for instance, people were working all weekend trying to get it up. So people have to remember that it's not only our buildings that are aging, but a lot of our equipment and things, and it's ongoing expense.
And it changes so rapidly, too. And, you know, if we want to be able to move forward in instruction and providing instruction for our students, we have to have this house in order, because we can't. You know, teachers want to do lessons that involve technology and involve computers and laptops. They get stuck. They can't do it without things working and working quickly. So a lot of work has been done in that area. And you're right. This past weekend, because of surges that happened across town, our internet was knocked out for quite a period of time, and that took hours, days to get fixed and back. And people don't know that behind the scenes
Right,
work. You know,
right.
we've got our tech teams that are there all weekend long, and they're calling me and giving me updates, and it's crazy. So.
That snow day was great.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
blessing.
snow days are good.
Yeah, Monday would not have been a good day for staff if we didn't have that snow day. So,
Could you remind me about the preschool situation? Do we have preschool now, or we have pre-K? I know that. Is that the same?
yeah, you have 3 and 4-year-old preschool programs. We've got a couple different types, but our main one is our integrated preschool program, which Kim is in charge of. You've got students that have special education needs. There's your 3-year-olds come in. By law, you're mandated to provide services at 3 years old, and you have typical peers as well, which are part of that. What's our total numbers in that? About six.
About 65, between 65 and 68 students right now.
Yeah, which continues to grow at that level, and that program's housed at Lily B. Haynes.
And that was my question: is as we expanded into pre-K, or we're calling it preschool, now we're also required to provide special education requirements by law
Yes.
for those students. So special education now starts at 3 years old and
3
goes
years to
to
21.
21, whereas
Yeah.
before it may have started in kindergarten.
Yeah,
Now
and that's
it goes
the
down.
end of your 21st birthday too.
Is that right?
Speech language services. There's a
Yep.
number of physical therapy, occupational therapy, number of services at the preschool level that are required to meet the needs of kids. So.
Thank you for that. Any other questions?
Yeah, we've had a couple comments here at our Board of Selectmen on the rate of pay increase, and obviously, you only have a 1.29% increase in your salaries this year due to the elimination of positions.
Yes.
But what is the average contracted rate pay increase for the remaining staff? I know it varies at which level, but just basic teacher, was it 2% this year, was it 3%, based on your last contract?
Well, the hard part with that is those that are on step that get a step increase as well as a general wage increase, versus if you've got a teacher that's at the 12th step and beyond, they're not getting that step increase, so they're getting the general wage increase. So it varies as to how many you have where, but overall, somewhere between 2.5%. That's where all of our unaffiliateds, our paraprofessionals, we all sit around that between 1.5% to 2.5% for an increase. But very hard to quantify the certified staff increases because it varies.
And on transportation, you had the $100,000 savings by eliminating 2 buses, but it went up $156,000.
Yeah.
Which, if you didn't have the savings, it would have went up $256,000. Is that expected to go up, or did you just renegotiate a contract for how long?
We are in the process. We're in the last year of our contract with First Student. We're in the process of looking at either renegotiating or going out to bid. So we're working on that to try to drive costs down. The other piece we're looking at is trying to say, hey, what other towns around us, what year are they in their contract? So if we could line it up, so maybe in 3 years' time or 5 years' time, you'll be ready, we'll be ready, let's merge together and see what we can get for, a bigger deal.
Because if you didn't have that savings and you went up $256,000, that's out of $2 million, that's 12.5% in 1 year increase.
Hmm.
Was that already in your contract, the 12.5% increase?
It also includes some unanticipated special ed transportation.
Or the extra transportation
for the-
costs?
for the-
Okay,
Yeah.
So it's not just the bus.
all right, thank you.
Other questions? Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your thoughts.
Well
and your
done,
ideas
and
support.
a lot of work goes into these things.
Yeah, across the Board of Ed in town.
It's a lot
that's
of
for
money,
sure.
but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's, and we've got a
Appreciate it.
great team that puts a lot of effort in.
Yeah, thank you all for all the hard work. It's amazing job that you do. And we keep on getting on all those lists that say great school system, and then we look at the cost per student and the cost that we're putting out there, and it's an amazing value what we're getting. So that doesn't happen by accident. Thank you. We move into an executive session for a further discussion of the unaffiliated employee benefit contract and relationship there. I think want to bring in Anna and Victor. You're here for that too. Bill, you're not here for that, right? No, because Victor and Joe were putting that together, so we'll just include Victor on that. I want to make sure we stay within the rules of executive session. So I'll need a motion to include.
I'll move to enter to executive session for the purpose of discussing the description of the unaffiliated employee handbooks to include when, for the presentation part, Victor Benny.
Okay, Victor and Anna.
Anna, do you need to be in
Yeah, she'll
that?
need to.
You can only call me if you need me.
And,
Okay.
and Anna Johnson is needed.
Okay.
We don't expect this to be long, do we?
This will not be a long session.
Conference room?
Yeah, we'll go into my office.
Your office? Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're gonna go into executive session. We won't be long at all. I can do this.
No, what?
Oh, I was just gonna move it up.